Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff, but we keeps it a buck. And today we're going to be talking about the NBA. The NBA Finals is upon us. It's going to be starting on Thursday, and it will feature the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers closed the series out yesterday over the Knicks, winning that series in 6 games. Something that my counterpart here did predict. Um, so yeah, actually Stan is going to join in too. What's going on, Stan?
Hey, we got Stan in the building. What up, Stan?
What's up, y'all? Let me get my buds and we get on. Let me get on.
Okay, we already live, brother.
Yeah, we live.
Oh shit, my bad, my bad,
Yep.
my bad.
But yeah, Kurt. Gotta give you your flowers, man. You called this. You called this from the start. I don't think I heard anybody else talking about the Indiana Pacers the way you did. I wish you were on like ESPN or something like now because like you called this, man. I mean, it's gonna give you your flowers, man. And yeah, take off, man. Say what you got to say, man. You called it. I
Man,
was
I
wrong.
called it.
Yeah, you did.
We go. You know what, Reggie?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say you was wrong, my brother. You were misinformed. That's what it was. See, y'all, you didn't know. You didn't know what you know. Guys like Nimba and Ben Mathurin and Naismith, like nobody knew who these guys. I mean, in all fairness, nobody did. But they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And technically speaking, going into this, they are the more experienced team. Technically speaking, you
Yeah.
have Pascal Siakam who won one. You have Miles Turner who's been in big games. You know what I'm saying? And this is the same core that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm picking them to win the finals. And watch this.
Hold on. Hold that. Hold that, Kurt. Hold that. Hold
Okay,
that.
okay, 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 okay,
I want to talk
okay.
about what happened
The Knicks.
yesterday. I don't know what to say about that game yesterday, man. It just like the Knicks, they didn't play like a team that was down 3-2. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, you're watching that game and you saw multiple times where um they didn't get back on defense on a made basket. Like how many times that game did you see the Knicks make a basket, the Pacers go right down the floor and get a layup? Like how are you not? It's 3-2, like a loss, and you're going home. And they just they just didn't look like the desperate team. In game 5, they looked like the desperate team. Like that was the best defensive performance I've seen the Knicks have all playoff long. So they looked like the desperate team. They just didn't yesterday,
They
man.
worn out.
Yeah,
They worn out. That's what I'm saying about the Pacers. Like, okay, um, Ben Mathurin popped up and had
yeah,
a 20-point game and a big win, right? To get
yep,
the third, right?
yep, yep.
Who is he? You see what I'm saying? Like nobody
Yeah,
knows
that's
what
fair.
these Pacers are capable of. You see what I'm saying? And it's always, and then you know what? The next night, Siakam going to do that. The next
Yeah,
night, Nimba going to do that.
right.
The next night, Naismith saved them. Naismith saved them on the road in
Yeah,
New York. Eh, You see what I'm saying? And when, like I say, when you got that leadership, like Tyrese Halliburton, that doesn't care. They just wore 'em out. They outran them boys. Them boys couldn't get back, right? Them boys was tired. Them boys was like they throwing like they going 9 deep, bro. They coming off the bench with guys like TJ McConnell. Now he's not no world beater. He's not the greatest player, all that. But what he does is he pushes that tempo. When he get that ball in transition, he pushing it. Now
man.
he can finish around the rack, but he opens it up for everybody else, right? That's what they do, bro. Weapons
When,
everywhere.
when he hit that three that put them up 17, that's why I knew the game was over because the Knicks left him open like he was Markel Fultz or something. That shit was all net. I said that's over. That's ball game.
Yeah, his form is ugly, yo. He got the ugliest form in all of mankind. But
Yeah,
you have to honestly understand when I say this. Indiana, as a team, is just as talented as OKC. That's what I've been. That's what I keep saying. Like there is no difference between those two. So it's going to come down to coaching. And flat out, Rick Carlisle is a better coach. I hate to say it. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
think. I think. I
Bef-
think
bef-
that.
Before we get there, Stan, do you want to go ahead and put any more dirt on the Knicks before we move on to that?
At
I'm
the end of the
sorry.
day, the Knicks. This was just too much. The Pacers were too much, too deep, and I think the Knicks played hard, but again, it's just the stuff with the dumb turnovers, the fouls, and they just didn't
Hmm.
have enough. And again, and every time the turnaround, the Pacers had somebody else coming up and digging them. This was Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant, I didn't even know who was still in the fucking league. And he comes out and hits a couple of threes.
Hit
It's
threes. Like what the
always
heck?
yes.
Threes, bro.
It's always somebody new with this Pacers team.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why it just was too much for the Knicks to deal with. The Knicks just not. I don't know. Again, it's one of those where you just don't know where the Knicks go from here, as far as how do you get over the hump. Because again, they have a good team, but I don't think they have. There, I don't see a pathway for them to get any better. Because the problem that the Knicks have
Hmm.
is in terms of depth and going after some of these teams that have just 9, 10 guys that can play in a playoff game. I don't think Thibodeau ever felt good about 9 guys playing in a playoff game. And it was always basically just 7 guys he played. They trusted. And you can't win like that. And today's in the NBA now, especially in the postseason, you cannot win if you only go on 7 deep. You gotta get to 9 guys. And the next problem was foul trouble. Towns was up and down at times, but he played hard. He gave a shit. He looked
Yeah.
good at times, but just the dumb fouls and just the dumb town stuff that we've seen since his rookie year. The dumb fouls, the questionable defensive plays. Brunson Brunson was on lockdown. Everything he got, he had to work his ass off to get. They really locked him down defensively between Nemhard
Yeah.
and all those guys. Just locked him down. And so, I mean, and Thibodeau's a good coach, but again, I think that just him running the same 7 guys out there, it's hard to win the playoffs like that. And at the end of the day, the Pacers are just a better team. It's just a better team, well prepared, well coached. And so, yeah, Kurt was the one that called that shit with the Pacers, and
He
I
did,
didn't.
man.
So we gotta give him credit for that. And look, I didn't pick the Pacers to get to the finals. I don't think any of us did. No one did. No one did. And they're in the finals. I think it's gonna be a very interesting series. Although I don't see the Pacers having enough to deal with this Thunder team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it. I ain't seen it. And they're good, and they got the firepower to score with the Thunder. But are they going to be able to get their points off and get their guys going in this defense?
The question I wanted to ask you though, Stan, when you were saying about Tibbs, you think they need to let Tibbs go?
No. Why?
So,
I
but
just
like,
think
how do they? Like you gotta, like if you're the Knicks front office going, if you know what I mean, you have to take with the front office right now, and you're evaluating this team going forward. Like I know, like you don't hit the panic button because y'all made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, okay?
of
But
course.
like, what do you do to improve your team? Like the Knicks, what can they do? Like,
You gotta get your bench together, man. You gotta find some veteran guys that can go out there and that you can trust in a game 6, game 7 must win situation. You gotta get those guys on your team, and they don't have them. You go past this start 5. The start 5 is one of the best in the league. But once you get past the starting 5, what do you have? Mitchell Robinson gave him some good minutes, good rebounding, good defensive plays, finishing at the rim. So that was good for them. But outside of that, what else did they have? I mean, they looked at, Deuce McBride wasn't ready for it. Campaign is awful. I don't even know how he's still in the league. I just don't know who else they got outside of those starting 5 and Mitchell Robinson. They
yeah, they're
tried,
gonna
they
have to do
tried a
some
couple.
mid level.
They tried a couple different guys, but it just didn't work. And I don't think Tibbs trusted anyone beyond the starting five. And even with Mitchell Robinson, his free throw shooting was atrocious. So
I
free
think
throw
I
shooting was
think
atrocious. He was a liability out there on the court, especially in the
they
clutch
can
moments. They was fouling him.
they
It was
gonna
just
need
it was
to they
just
gonna get some mid level exceptions, things. They gonna need some mid level except. You said it right. They need to go get them like a Miles Turner, the veteran. You know what I'm saying? They need one of them on their team, bro. They need a mid level exception, like two or three of them. Go get them some veterans that can come out the bench and play a role. That's probably the only chance they got. 'Cause like you said, they starting fathers. It's not too many starting fathers that can get with there. It's just up and down the floor. So that's what they need. You right, man. They need bench players, bro.
They
they
also,
need to
but I
get some guys
mean,
they trust.
the coach got to play him too, though. If he wouldn't go get those guys, the coach got to give him a chance. Like he can't just get so stuck in his ways that it sticks with his starters. I mean, you got to give these guys a chance. So that's the only other
And
thing.
that's the problem. And that's the problem with Thibodeau is he has the tendency to just to get stuck on the same five niggas, and it's like, yo, you can't do that. You gotta give these guys breaks because they're like last year. The Knicks fell apart in the Pacers series with injuries because they was playing too much. And he got better with it in this series again. He was giving Mitchell Robinson some run. They were giving campaign some run, but the campaign minutes were disastrous. Miles McBride wasn't ready. You know, they gave a couple other guys a chance, but it just wasn't. They couldn't match the Pacers' depth at that point. Because again, with Indiana, it was we Halliburton's having an off game offensively, but now McConnell's is cooking. You know, we got Nimhard under control, but now Naismith's knocking down threes. Naismith's struggling, but now Mathurin is now knocking down shots. You know, they just are so deep with the guys they can run out there. You know, we got those guys under control now. Miles Turner's making shots. Then it's like we got that guy under control, and now Obi Toppin's making shots. It's just they got so many guys that Carlisle trusts,
Yep.
and
Total opposite.
yeah, it's total opposite of what Thibodeau, because Carlisle trusted Obi Toppin to be out there at certain periods. He trusted Mathurin to be out there. He trusted these guys out there. You know, they just have so many guys that can play in a playoff game. And a lot of teams don't have it. I don't know how many teams in the league right now got 7, 8, 9 guys, like 9 guys they trust in a playoff game. I'm
That's a
talking about a playoff
lot.
game. Trusting in a playoff game, not any regular season game against the Raptors in November. I'm talking about a playoff game in June. You trust that guy to be out there and not do something stupid and give up an open three or make a bad pass or something like that. Thibodeau has 6, 7 guys, and that's who he played. That's who he trusted. So the Knicks had a great season. Great season. I didn't think they would get this far. I think we all looked at the Knicks all season and thought, yeah, they beat up on the shit teams, man, but they don't do shit when they go up against the top dogs, and they proved us wrong. They took the Celtics out. They pushed Indiana to 6 games. A couple things go their way. Maybe we're playing a 7th game, but the Knicks have to have to improve their bench, have to get their depth right. I don't think Thibodeau needs to
Mhm.
go. I think Thibodeau's a good coach. I just think that he gets stuck in his ways and he only trusts his certain guys. He was like that in everywhere he went. So they got to get some depth on that team. But it was a pretty good series. But the Pacers just showed out they were a better team. Clearly,
They wore
too
them
deep,
down.
warm
Yeah.
down.
And the bottom line though is you just can't lose that game one. That's the bottom line. You just can't lose that game. That's a game you just simply should have won. You should have won it. You were the
Yeah,
better team that day. You just can't. You
yeah.
can't lose that game. So
I told you that's the series. That's the
yeah,
series pretty
that's the
much.
series.
Game 1, them dropping that game, that's the series. Because the Knicks win that game, we're in a game 7 right now.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
the Knicks got game 7 at the Garden if they win that game. So
Yeah. All right. So
And then, but they not. I don't think they worse off than the Timberwolves, though. I think the Timberwolves going into the offseason, the Timberwolves is in a bad place, bro.
Minnesota's in a bad spot.
They are in a bad place. Rudy Gobert is getting older and more useless offensively as the minutes go by.
uh,
Julius Randle can play, but he don't always play, you know. And then you have
Randall
Ant.
vanished. Yeah, Randall vanished.
I thought McDaniels was going. I thought McDaniels was going to do something. I thought he was kind of like becoming like what J Dub is to Shea. You know what I mean? I thought McDaniels was becoming that for Ant. You see what I'm saying? But it just doesn't pan out. They. I mean, I hope he can get something out of Rob Dillingham because he can't just keep carrying. He can carry teams to the Western Conference Finals. We seen that he can carry a team to the Western Conference Finals. Did it 2 years in a row. But in order for them to over the hump, bro, they gotta have more than just attacking, bro. Like they have to have more than that, bro. Their whole offense is based around him attacking and kick to somebody that kicks to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, and then if Julius Randle decide to play, then you got a bucket. But they need help, bro. He needs help, bro. He needs help really, really badly.
He definitely
DiVincenzo,
does.
did
He
DiVincenzo
definitely
play?
does.
Did
He
anybody
played.
see Mike
Yes.
Conley?
He didn't
Did
play.
anybody see Mike Conley? I
He
mean, like,
didn't,
but
he
where
didn't
where
play.
was these guys? You know what I mean? Like, so
Well, Conley's at the end of the road at this point. I mean, we're pretty
true.
much past the point with him. He had a great career, great long career, but he's past his prime at this point. But Edwards definitely needs help because you could tell that last game he was being aggressive, but he was making the right basketball plays and guys weren't hitting shots. Any star player when they start making plays and guys aren't hitting shots, gonna be like, "Fuck it, I'll do it myself."
Yep.
And when you get into that do it myself mode, we've seen it a million times over the history of the league. We've seen it. It don't work, especially at this level. At this level of the postseason, it don't work. Rando just disappeared in the last couple games of the series. He vanished. I don't know what happened to him. They still got to find unsolved mysteries. What happened to him? I don't know what happened to him. The last couple games.
Are they a Kevin Durant team possibly?
What are you gonna give him? What are you gonna give him?
Who you
Julius
give it?
Randle?
Yeah, I guess Randall. I guess I don't know. Picks.
If you
That's
replace Julius Randle with Kevin Durant, that's better. It's still not enough though to beat
You're right. And
OKC.
I don't think the Wolves have any draft picks. If not, they trade all their draft picks in that Rudy Gobert trade, which I said at the
mm-hmm.
time was the worst trade I'd ever seen. I mean, it was awful. I mean, I know Rudy Gobert's a good player, but to give up that many picks, and one of the picks that they traded was the pick that Utah used. No, the Timberwolves picked. What's the dude? What's the big man?
Kessler.
Kessler.
Walker Kessler.
Kessler.
Would you
So
rather
it
have
was
Walker
yeah.
Kessler in 2025? Would you rather have Walker Kessler or Rudy Gobert? I'm taking Kessler just because of the youth,
Kessler.
and he can give
Yeah,
me a little
Kessler.
bit more offensively. They should just kept the pick.
Kessler.
Just keep the pick.
They already had traded like 4 first-round picks at that point,
Yeah,
and they threw in the Kessler pick at the last minute. Like,
stupid,
why?
man.
5 first-round picks for fucking Rudy Gobert? To this
No,
day, I don't get it.
no.
It's no different than like the 5 first-round picks for Bridges. Is that the market now?
I mean, yeah. Sometimes these things work out because I mean, I can't remember how many picks it was, but the Bucks traded a bunch of picks to get Drew Holiday, and obviously that was the what they needed to get over the hump. So I guess I mean they would view that as worth it, right? But that's a lot of picks, man. That's a lot of
It's
picks.
it's 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 just interesting looking across the league right now and look at all these teams who you thought probably 2 years ago, oh man, that title window is gonna be open for a minute. Like Milwaukee. Milwaukee wins the title in 2021. They get Holiday. They mortgage the future for it. But again, you can't be mad about it because they got a title out of it.
Yep.
But now you're looking at it 4 years later, they're done. And Giannis will probably be on another team next year.
The
You
Lakers.
look at Phoenix. Phoenix thought they got the big three. Durant will probably not be there next year. Booker, who knows with Booker at some point, and Beal will be there as long as he wants to be there. They're done. They have no pathway to winning. You look at the Lakers. The Lakers, you dealing with an old LeBron, and now you got Luka. Luka's not signed beyond next season. That's the elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about. But it's like, dog, he's not signed. It hasn't happened yet.
That
Sure,
guy's not going anywhere, bro. He's not.
Well, you
man.
again,
Come on,
you
man.
assume that. You assume that,
Yo,
and that's what
ain't
I'm
nothing
assuming.
safe,
But it
yo.
ain't done.
It
It
ain't
ain't.
nothing
It's
safe
not
in the
done.
NBA, yo. It ain't nothing
It's
safe in
not
the
done.
NBA right now, dog. All the
Regardless of
mixes
whether or
are
not you can sit there and say, "Well, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere." It ain't done yet. That's the bottom line. And he hasn't been signed yet. And who knows what LeBron's going to do?
Tell me when in the Lakers history have they lost a major superstar free agent? They don't lose them; they take from others. They don't lose their free agents. They just take from other people.
I mean, the only guy that they acquired that didn't stay was Dwight Howard. And you say what you want about Dwight Howard, but normally they do keep their guys. But again, it's not done yet. It hasn't been. I haven't heard a word about any negotiations. At the end of the day, it's not done. And at the end of the day, LeBron is year to year at this point. I don't expect him to retire I don't expect him to retire now. I expect him to come back for another season. But then you're looking at the cap again. You're looking at your $100 million for two guys. Where's the pathway
yeah,
for us to get better? I don't see it.
but this is the one thing though. We do have young assets though. We do have a few young assets. Like we can still trade Dalton Connect. We can still trade Austin Reeves. We can still trade Richie Hart, Rui
Hachimura.
Hachimura. Yeah, we can still we still got a couple. And guys will always you can always get a veteran that'll take a mid level exception for a chance to win. The mid level exceptions is what is like the best thing for a team. Like if you got a championship core, mid level exceptions, like let's say they can probably get like at this point in time, you might get Draymond Green on a mid level exception if Golden State let him go. You know what I'm saying? Like
They're not letting him
they
go.
acting like they acting like
Well,
they gonna buy out. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see.
it's
Um,
just, but again, these guys are not putting the Lakers over the top. Again, you got to understand that you got to deal with this Thunder team right now. That's 9, 10 deep.
Yeah,
All these niggas are young, all young, and really none of them are signed to big contracts outside of Shea. Well, Shea will be eventually.
yeah. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get there. We got all season to talk about the Lakers and their mishaps. So let's just get to it, man. The NBA Finals is set. Got OKC, got the Indiana Pacers. At this point, the Oklahoma City Thunder at this point just look like, if all my anime fans, you think about Attack on Titan and Aaron, the rumbling. That's what this has been. This has just been the rumbling. They're just stomping through everybody. I mean, they obviously had a great series against the Nuggets, but that game 7 was just an absolute wipeout. So we got the Thunder coming through. Kurt, I'm gonna start with you. Who wins? How many games?
um, I really want to say Pacers in 5, but I believe it's gonna be 6. I believe it's gonna be 6, and the reason why it's gonna be, I think the Pacers are gonna win is because you can't scout for them. And there's this one player, right? This one player can change the whole momentum of this series. This guy is going, and their victories. They're gonna have 4. They're gonna have 4 victories. It can go 7, but they only need to win 4. Pascal Siakam will be Finals MVP. Okay, he's going to be too quick. He's going to be too quick. He's going to be too quick and too skilled and too polished for check. Pascal Siakam is the most. He has the most underrated bag at his position. Like he can shoot the three, he can handle the rock, he can dish the rock, he can post up, he can ISO 15 feet from the basket. He has a mid-range game. He has a step back. Listen, Pascal Siakam, I believe, will win the Finals MVP. I mean, or it's going to be the favorite, which would be Tyrese Halliburton. But I believe Pascal Siakam. is going to destroy the OKC Thunder. They don't have a matchup for him. Who's the matchup for Pascal Siakam?
I mean,
And
they
I
got
don't want he gonna go right by Chet, bro. He gonna go right by Chet. Hartstein, he gonna go right by Hartstein. Then he gonna be too big for J Dub. Who are they gonna put
it's
on him?
going to be, bro. It's going to be a combination of all of them. They're going to give him a lot of different looks.
Now you're playing into the Pacers' hands because you're trying to accommodate. Once you start that's what they do. Y'all just said it. We're gonna have to give them a lot of different looks. It's gonna be a combination, and that's what the Pacers want. They want you to start. That's when them hogs gonna get hot for some reason. Why do you think some guys just keep getting hot for them? Because Tyrese Halliburton is making them adjust. Pascal Siakam is making them adjust. And once that happens, oh, it's Naismith tonight. Everybody start looking for Naismith. Oh, it's Limbar tonight. Everybody start looking for Limbar. Meanwhile, you're going to have Pascal Siakam. You're going to have Tyrese Halliburton maintaining the ship. Okay, Miles Turner is the most experienced guy on the floor. Pascal Siakam is the most battle tested. I say, even though Pascal got a championship, Miles Turner been through more wars than Pascal Siakam. Like the Indiana Pacers are the more experienced team. And you cannot scout for them because you never know who their number one option is going to be. You can never fully scout for them because. And one thing I love about Tyrese Halliburton is his unselfishness, but he has the big games when they need him to have the big games. So
Yeah.
I'm going with the Pacers at 6, man. I've been telling people about them. Everybody slept on them, bro, and I'm rolling with them. Indiana Pacers, man.
At first, you said Pacers. So you said Pacers in 5. And you think the Pacers can win it in 5?
Yeah, I really think like, listen, they are okay. And the Thunder's matchups, they've either been more skilled or just more talented. Okay, like with the Timberwolves, they was just flat out more talented than us.
Yeah.
Flat out. You see what I'm saying? But then you look at the Denver Nuggets, they had too many skills. Listen, they can match them with talent. Not like J Dub is a better player. I'm saying when all five of them are on the floor together, all five of them can can run with OKC. They have the talent, they have the skill, they have the coaching. Now experience will play. What's going to happen when you meet that guy that's as fast as it's like Superman meeting Darkseid? You feel me? Superman meeting Darkseid. Superman will beat the shit out of everybody from Earth, but Darkseid come out of nowhere, and you ain't never met a nigga like yo. That is what's about to happen. Indiana is Darkseid. Indiana is Darkseid, bro. They are as talented. They are as young and youthful to get up and down the court, and they're better. And they're more better coached, and they're just as deep, and they're more unpredictable. So you know it's going to be Shea at the top coming off screens. You know it's going to be J Dub in the post when that ties out, and everybody play around that. You know that J Dub 15 feet from the basket, let him do his thing. You know what you're going to get. You don't know what's going to happen with Indiana. So Pascal Siakam for MVP. I really want to say Indiana in 5, but out of respect, I'm gonna say Indiana in 6.
Wow. I mean, hey, man, you've been right this whole time, man. I mean, I can't. I'm not really in a position to doubt you. I mean, you called this from the jump, but I mentioned it last time that like I'm gonna kind of be the Mike Dichter. You remember when the
Yeah, Mike
Ravens went to
Dicker.
the Super Bowl?
Yeah, yeah,
Mike Dick
yeah.
picked against them in every single game, and we won every single game. So I think I'm gonna be the Mike Dichter for the Pacers because I am absolutely taking the Thunder in this series. I'm gonna take the Thunder to win it, and you know what? I think this is gonna be a great. I think it's gonna be a classic series. I think this is gonna be a series that people look back on and say this was like the reemergence of the NBA, because people have been saying the NBA's been on a bit of a downswing. I think this is going to be the series that people point to as like the moment the NBA really got back to it. So I think this is going to go all 7 games. I think it's going to be a great series. But ultimately, I am going to take the Thunder to win it. And the big reason why is that they have Game 7 at home. They got Game 7 in their home building, so I'm going to take them to win that in 7. I think I've been asking for this for a while, but I think finally this will be the series that somebody actually puts a foot down and says, "Yo, y'all backcourt ain't gonna keep doing this, man." Somebody, the Knicks couldn't do it. I think the Thunder are gonna be able to do it. I think Lou Dort is gonna be a big part of this series. Caruso, they got guys that can do something to this backcourt. Again, I'm not saying they're going to just lock the backcourt down. That's not what I'm saying. But somebody is going to finally put a foot down and like, y'all not just going to do what you want to do the way they did it against the Knicks and everybody else they've done. So I do think Chet Holmgren is going to be a problem. I do think Chet Holmgren can. I'm not saying he's going to stop Siakam, but Chet Holmgren is one of the better defenders, man. He's got size. He can do it. So I got the Thunder in 7.
Bro, watch this. Watch this. That game 7 ain't gonna mean nothing. Want me to tell you why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Indiana Pacers are going to win a game in the first 2 games. They are going to win in OKC. So that game 7 ain't gonna mean nothing because they're gonna close them out in game 6 in Indiana.
I think it's going 7. I don't disagree with you. They might win one of the first 2, but I think the OKC is going to win one in Indiana too. I think it's going 7.
I don't think so. Y'all gotta understand how long Indiana's been waiting to get to the finals again. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta understand when they step into Indiana, Indiana is still like the most that support just basketball, period. Indiana is still like in love with basketball to this day, bro. When they step inside of that stadium in Indiana for the finals, it's gonna be probably louder than OKC. So I understand what you're saying, but these guys are road warriors, bro. This is what they do. And they never give up, bro. They never give up, bro. Never give up.
Stan, it's on you.
It's Thunder in 6. I don't. I think at the end of the day, when you look at the rosters and you look at the team, the Thunder have been the best team in the league from the start. They've been on a mission since the start of the season. They've been killing teams all year. They killed they ran over Memphis. They had to fight with Denver, but then ran them over in Game 7, and they ran through Minnesota. Pretty simple. They had that one fuck up in Game 3. I don't know what I think. I think OKC did that through that game because the way they got beaten Game 3 made no sense because they dominated the whole series. But I'm looking at the Thunder, the best team in the league. They've been the best team since the start. They have the MVP. They're well coached. They're deep defensively. They're the best defensive team we've seen in the league in years. They can throw so many guys at Halliburton, so many guys at the Pacers, Siakam, and all these guys. Caruso was guarding Jokic in the Denver series. What do you think Caruso can guard Siakam if he's guarding Jokic?
Bro,
They can
Jokic
throw
was giving that
so
man 40. Bro, Jokic almost had a triple double with 40 points. What you talking about? Like,
Did
stay.
they win? Did they win the series?
No, but what I'm saying
Did
is,
they win the series?
no, they didn't win the series. They didn't win the series because they didn't have enough. Indiana has enough. Bro, they put Caruso on Pascal Siakam. Bro, it's gonna be super fried chicken, and they still got the arms to go with. 'Em. Bro, they better not be dumb enough to do that with Rick Carlisle as the coach, bro.
I don't think Carlisle is a smart coach. He's gonna figure out. He's gonna do what he can to figure them out. I just don't think you can figure them out. I don't think you can. I think they're too deep. I think Shea. I'm just looking at the Pacers, and yes, they've got some good defenders. They got some guys that get after them. But do you think that the combination of Nimhard and Matherin and Naismith can guard Shea? No.
Shay's gonna get his. Shay's gonna get his. Shay's gonna get his.
Shea might average 35, 40 points in this series because
And
I don't
still
see a
lose.
matchup for him. I don't see a matchup for Shea. I don't see a matchup for a lot of those guys. And I'm just looking at the match again. We'll see how game one is going to be real interesting to me. The most interesting game will be game one to see how these teams figure out. Okay, how do we match up? Who we matching up? How are we going to slow these guys down? Because again, both of these teams can get up and down and score. They can score easily. They can get up and down. They've got guys that can just line up and shoot. Shea and Halliburton have complete control of their offenses and getting the ball to guys in the right spot. I just look at the Thunder, man. I just think they're too much. Just too much, too deep. Lou Dort guarding their best perimeter guy, Caruso guarding off the bench. They can throw Wallace. They can
That's
throw
like Casey
all these
Wallace.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
Jalen
too many
Williams,
guys,
another
yo.
good defender.
Jalen Williams has been amazing in the playoffs. Has stepped up, gone to another level. He's become the number 2 guy there. Holmgren has had a great playoff. He's stepping up. He's getting more experience, at the pro level. It's too deep, bro.
And too many ways they
know,
can defend you, man. They got too many
yeah, too
different
many
ways to
ways.
defend you, man.
They don't
It's too
have
much.
nobody to defend Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
I
And that's
disagree,
all
man.
it takes for Indiana. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All it takes is for them to have the mismatch. Once they figure out they got the mismatch, they're going to work that mismatch. As soon as you start adjusting, that's when everybody else is going to start. And they're going to give Pascal the ball
Yo,
early in
but
the
yo,
middle of the key. And
you
it's
know
going to be a
how
lot. It's going to be hard for Chet. It's going to be hard.
but you know how the NBA is. It's not really a one-on-one thing. And most times most teams switch. So it's about team defense. I just think that
Mm-hmm.
the length that OKC has, I just think that they've just been. I don't know where they rank defensively this year, man, but they just got so many different ways to defend you, man. And I mean, with the athleticism and length that they have, I mean, they can if it gets to a point like you're talking about where Pascal Siakam is just going LeBron on them, they can bring a double and they got so much size and speed they can recover. Like
Yeah.
I
Yo,
just
but who did they? Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all one question. Let me ask y'all this one question. Who did they play that had like a deep team? Like Minnesota got one player every consistently every night.
you know
The Denver Nuggets got one player consistently every night in the old ass Russell Westbrook. They
but
did
it,
not play a team. They did not play. They did not play. They did not play one team. They did not play one team that got 4 niggas that could ISO you on the floor at one time.
but that goes both ways though, Daryl. They like the Pacers haven't played anybody that can get after you defensively the way they can. They haven't. Like I
But they
thought the
just
Knicks
did.
could, but they
Oh,
didn't. I thought the
but the
Knicks
Knicks
could.
are.
I
Yeah,
thought they
exactly. Just like you about to think. Just like you thinking OKC could.
could.
Just like you thinking OKC can, bro.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. They playing it. Yo, bro, them Twin Towers in Cleveland. What are we talking about? Them boys, like that don't mean nothing.
I'm talking
Everybody
about
look like.
no.
And then you thought the Knicks could defend them.
No. I'm talking about perimeter defense. I'm talking about perimeter defense.
But what I'm saying is, you look at OG Ananobi, you look at Markel Bridges, you look at Josh Hart. All of these guys are bona fide defenders, bro, and they all got cooked.
Yeah, I
It's
thought.
the
Yeah,
same thing going to happen with Lou Dort. That's the same thing. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's going to happen. Because you're not prepared for it.
yeah.
Everybody going into the series thinking they're going to have to worry about Nimhard in game 3. Ain't nobody going into the series thinking they're going to have to worry about Ben Matchman in game 2. Nobody's worried about that. You don't know how it's coming. And once it comes, it's too late. You can't just automatically say, all right, everybody on the floor, we're going to treat Nimhard like he's their number 1 player now.
Look,
You
man,
know
I'm
what I'm
just saying.
saying? And when
I'm
you do
just saying.
that, I'm just saying, bro.
All right. We'll see, man. We'll see.
I just don't see it. I'm not seeing it, bro. I'm looking at the rosters one and down and looking at what the Thunder can do throwing at their top guys. It's a lot. And like you said, when you talk about team defense and switching and getting matchups between Hartenstein and Holgram and Dort and Wallace and Jalen and J Dub and
Caruso.
Caruso It's a lot of guys that can
A
throw.
bunch of
They can
niggas
throw.
that's gonna get cooked, yo. They go. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Cause see, then what you do is you start adjusting to these role players, and that's when Tyrese Halliburton start killing you. Go ahead, y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. Listen, bro, y'all done
Look,
seen it.
I'm looking forward to this series. To be honest with you, like the last few years with the finals, it was kind of like we know who's
Yeah,
gonna win. We know who's gonna
yeah.
win. Even
hmm
last year with Dallas and Dallas made that great run, we knew the Celtics were gonna win.
They
You
were
know, the
too
year
good.
before it was just they were too good. This Thunder team is too good, but if there was a team out east that I felt had a chance to push them, it was the Pacers because the Pacers have the depth to go against them. These other teams out east didn't have it. Maybe the Celtics when they were healthy, but it was always the Pacers were that team that they can match up OKC for like depth wise, guy for guy. I just don't think that defensively they match up with the Thunder. The Thunder are the best defensive team that I've seen in the NBA in a long time. The team defense is outstanding. What they did in Minnesota was ridiculous. Them niggas had what 9 points in the first quarter of that last game.
Bro, Naismith in the comeback win against the Knicks when he hit all those threes. He probably hit more threes in that comeback than DiVincenzo hit the whole series against OKC, bro. Like what I'm saying, I understand what y'all saying.
Uh,
They do play, but the caliber of offensive player that they're going to have to play is different in Indiana. They putting four guys around you, around Miles Turner, who can post and shoot. Okay, they're putting four guys around him that can ISO, but they playing together on some set a pick for you, then set a screen for him, then take a screen for him and hit a three in the corner. Oh, I'm hot now. Everybody, yo, when somebody get hot in Indiana, that person becomes Steph Curry. Everybody setting screens for him. Everybody getting open for him. Everybody down falling for him. That's how it works in Indiana, bro. You cannot cope. You cannot prepare for five or six different people being the number one scorer at any given time. Impossible. Impossible.
we'll see, man. Like I said, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to the series. As far as a basketball fan, I think it's gonna be a great series. I love both of these teams, and this is what the NBA needs to be pushing. This is what the NBA needs to be. The NBA needs to be sending this message out to ESPN and Fox Sports and all these people that cover the league. Can we really push this series? Push these young players? Can we stop? Can
Yes.
we go a week? Can we go a week without talking about LeBron James?
LeBron,
Because it seems
please,
like
please.
can you guys go? Can you guys go a week without mentioning something about LeBron James? And I guarantee Monday they're gonna say something about LeBron dancing on stage with Drake. It's like, can you guys go a week without talking about LeBron? Last week it was, well, Michael Jordan's ex agent said this about LeBron. Like, who gives a fuck, yo? I'm like, can you
But
guys just get off
OKC,
his? Can you guys
OKC
get off
emerging.
his? Just get off his dick and talk about these young players. These two young, exciting teams that you got
Yes,
in the finals with young
yes,
stars, young talent, great coaching,
yes.
great fan
Yep,
bases. Let's
yep.
focus on that. Nobody wants to talk about the Knicks for 6 hours tomorrow. The Knicks got beat. Simple.
Yes.
You know, like can we not talk about the Knicks? Can we not talk about LeBron? Can we just focus on these two young teams? Push this because this is what the league needs to do. They have got to
Mm-hmm.
push the young stars. You've got Halliburton, you've got Shea, you've got Jalen Williams, you've got stars, young talent, Siakam, Miles Turner,
Gotta give them their respect.
Matherin, Nimhart. These guys are young, talented, great
Yep.
players. Let's push this. Let's push these two teams. Enough with the old guys. Nobody gives a shit about what Kevin Durant's going to be playing at next year at this point. Who cares? The NBA has to push into the next crop of
Generation.
players. It's time. You cannot continue. The LeBron, Steph, KD era is done. Those guys will never get close to the NBA championship again. None of them. They will not get close to a title. It's time to push the young guys. It's time to push the young teams. You got the Thunder. You've got the Pacers. You've got a boatload of young guys across the league. It's time to push that. It's time to focus on that. And then the league needs to do that, and the league needs to make it clear to their broadcast partners. Let's push that. Let's push these teams. Enough with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Enough with Kevin Durant. Nobody cares what Durant's playing next year.
Yeah. We want. If anything, we should be talking about how OKC gonna keep all this talent together. That's what we should be talking about. Because I know some NBA franchises. I know, if anything, that's what you should be talking about. You should be, like you say, everything should be about them. So we're going to talk about somebody leaving in the offseason. Let's talk about OKC's free agents in the offseason. Let's talk about, you know what I mean, like the Indiana Pacers free agents in the offseason. Make it about them, period, bro. We don't want to hear LeBron, bro. We don't want to hear Luka. We don't want to hear about the Lakers. We want to hear about Naismith, like you say, Caruso. We want to hear about Kayshawn and J-Dub emerging.
Let's push these young teams, man. These two teams have a lot in common in the way that they built their teams. They built them the right way. They built them through the draft. They built them through right free agent signings. They built them developing young guys. Again, the funniest thing is both of these teams built their rosters off of trading Paul George. That's pretty fucking funny to me, actually. If you really think about it.
That's crazy.
If you really think about it, both of these teams built a lot of their young talent off of assets they acquired through Paul George.
Paul George should get a ring.
It's the only way you get one.
He should get a ring for that.
Like the Thunder.
I can't believe you just said that, bro. That's actually
the Thunder got SGA in the Paul George trade. They drafted Jalen Williams with one of the picks they got from the Clippers. You know, those are the pillars of the franchise right there. So it's like, and you can also keep in mind how the Pacers got Halliburton in the trade with Sabonis, which tells you, I mean, the Kings. But we're not going to talk about the Sacramento Kings and their ineptitude. The same franchise that passed on Luka Doncic for Malvin Bagley.
We can do a whole series on those.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But these two teams were built the right way. They have great coaches, great front offices, built their teams the right way. You know, let's focus. The NBA needs to push this narrative because, again, like I said, the old guys are done. Love LeBron, love Steph, love KD. They're done. Those three guys will never sniff an NBA championship. It's time to move on. And I'm just saying, can we move on, please? Can we not talk about LeBron this week? Can we not talk about where Durant's going to play next year? Because I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, I'm with you though. But that can tilt the favor next year. But I'm with you. For right now, I think it should definitely be about the finals. And so just to recap, because we're going to get out of here in a little bit. I said Thunder in 7. Kurt, you say Pacers in 6, right?
In 6.
I like you teetering between 5 and 6, man.
I am, bro. I want to say 5.5.
No, I want to hear 5, man.
You know what? No, I ain't gonna say 5, but it's hard not to, bro, because how I see the game. I'm gonna say Pacers in 5.5. 5.5.
I wonder what the Vegas.
No, 6 games. 6 games.
I haven't checked what FanDuel, what the line for FanDuel has on the finals yet. I'll check that in a little bit. But.
And Stan, you say?
I'm saying Thunder in 6.
6.
I don't see it. The Thunder team is destined to win the title. I don't see how they get stopped.
All right. We'll see how it goes. We'll end it there. And I mean, we'll jump back on when some of these games get going. And look, Kurt, man, I'm prepared to throw you the flowers, man, because like you called it.
Yo, get ready, bro. Listen, bro, Pascal Siakam. Just remember I said Pascal Siakam, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Right. We'll leave it there. Appreciate y'all for joining, man. Till next time.
All right, bro. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Peace.
This is fun.